Hey Leo, thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be a weekend reading for the weekend of February 11th through the 13th. So, Divine Spirits, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for being here with us. What can you tell us about the weekend coming up, February 11th through the 13th, for the beautiful sign of Leo? I know several Leo people, and they're just such bright, cheerful people. I love them so much. So, what do we got coming up for the weekend for Leo, please? What is coming up for Leo? We have envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Okay, so you might be envying somebody else right now. Somebody might be envying you. Let's see, what do we have for the sign of Leo, please? For Leo, February 11th through the 13th. It's time to release negativity. Okay, so if you're in a spot right now to where you are envying somebody else, then it's time to let that go. Okay? Envy is one of the most negative emotions. It can lead to so many bad things. It can lead to murder. It can lead to, everything, theft, whatever. All right, what do we have for Leo for February 11th through the 13th, please? For Leo. Be fearless and bold is the Badger spirit. Okay, so maybe you have some envy going on right now with somebody else because they're willing to take chances, they're willing to get out there, they're an out there type of personality. Majority of Leos, the sign itself is an out there type of sign. So if you're kind of holding back right now, which is what I feel like is going on with you, you're not being true to yourself. You're not being authentic to your natural nature. Leo is one of the most expressive signs in the way of just being bold and out there and out front. And I think with this card coming out being, saying be fearless and bold, I don't think you're truly embodying who you naturally are. And maybe you see other people around you that are doing things that maybe you wish you were doing. And so that's kind of presenting a little bit of envious in you. But, this card is telling you that you've got to let it go, okay? Like I said, envy is just one of the most negative emotions that there is, and it can lead to so much downfall in your own life. And it's like you can just continuously spiral downward and not even realize that you were doing that to yourself. Well, what cards do we have for Leo for the weekend of February 11th through the 13th, please? What do we have for Leo, February 11th through the 13th? We have the Two of Wands, we have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Ten of Cups. So if you were to step into your power, be fearless and bold, and I think that's kind of what you're trying to realize right now that you need to do. You need to just be assertive in your life, and Leo is an assertive sign. It's like you're making plans on how to be able to do that. The Queen of Swords is all about mental clarity. She's and don't get hung up on gender if I say she. It's just about the energy, because I don't feel like this is talking about a specific person. I believe this is more or less just talking about the mental energy behind the Queen of Swords. But she is the energy of just, there's no more confusion. I'm clear. I'm willing to speak what I want. I'm willing to say what I want. And that goes right in line with being fearless and bold. Because if you have some fear and if you're holding yourself back, you're not speaking your truth. You're not being authentic. So if somebody around you, just for example, is wanting you to do something that you're not really wanting to do, if you're not truly in this Queen of Swords power, then you might go along with it. And it's going to put you in a very uncomfortable position because it's not what you wanted to do. And this is, again, just an example, but if you are in the mental clarity of being able to speak your piece and speak your truth, then you're at the point of being able to say no. Like, no, I would really prefer not to do that. And that's kind of where the be fearless and be bold is coming into play at. It's like, be bold enough to stand up for yourself. Be bold enough to say what you want. Be fearless, because it takes a lot of courage to tell somebody no. And that could be exactly the situation somebody's going through right now. That might be why that's the example that I'm giving. Maybe somebody is wanting something from you or fixing to ask something from you that you don't necessarily want to do, but maybe you're too afraid to speak up and speak for yourself and say no to them. Well, don't be afraid, okay? So, what else do we have for the sign of Leo for February 11th through the 13th? It goes in with this Two of Wands, Queen of Swords. So the card that flipped over is the Five of Cups. That's about sadness, grief, regret, holding on to the past, just a lot of different emotions. And then you've got the Three of Wands on top of that. So it's like if you embody this fearlessness and you really try to plan out how to end up with your Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is about emotional happiness. It's about being in your power. That Three of Cups, it's like the Three of Wands that we just saw pop up, it's like you're waiting. Okay, so maybe you're in this shift change. You're coming into this clarity of how can I say no to people? How can I stand up for myself? How can I be truly authentic and reach this Ten of Cups, this emotional maturity that I need to reach, this emotional happiness that I need to reach. And I think you're just in the process of figuring things out right now. I think you're just doing a lot of self-discovery. It's kind of the vibe that I'm getting off of you. Okay, so we have the Hermit. Well, that goes right in there with self-discovery. And the Hangman, same exact thing. Both of these cards are all about looking inward, reflecting, seeing things differently. And I think this is, the Hangman, I think it's about seeing yourself differently. I think you're at the point of where you just realize where you're at is not where you want to be. And you're kind of accepting what you need to change to go towards what you want to be. And that is a very scary and amazing change to go through. When you start really truly discovering yourself, it's very scary and it's truly amazing. So up here we had the Time to Release Negativity and the Envy card, okay? So if we're not truly where we want to be and we see those other people around us, yes, that does cause envy. It causes envy in a lot of people, and not everybody gets jealous, okay? So I'm not saying everybody could be envious, but in a lot of people it does cause a lot of envy, and that's holding you back. So by releasing that, I think you're seeing that you need to release that. You're seeing, like, I can have exactly what they have. I can be exactly who they are, but the better version of myself in that respect. And I think you're definitely progressing forward. And I've seen that with a lot of readings that I've done lately, online and in person. There just seems to be so much progression going on in the world right now. So many people are just, I think, changing aspects about themselves and realizing, hey, I can be a better version of myself. Okay, so the card that is upright is one I'm going to take out of these. That is the Emperor card, and that's actually becoming the boss, okay? So it's like you're bossing up. This is becoming the boss level. The Emperor is all about, he's the strategist, the planner, the organizer, the doer, the thinker. He's the big boss behind everything. He can also stand for like a grandfather figure, a boss figure, a father figure, but I see him right now as the energy you're heading towards. You're bossing up, in other words, and that is a really great thing. And it's taking that be fearless and be bold. That is what's progressing you forward. It's like, I think you're finally just stepping into your own power. So do we have any more messages for Leo for the weekend of February 11th through the 13th concerning this change that they're going through, this bossing up, as it were? Any more messages, please? All right, Four of Cups. This is all about the possibility of not accepting an opportunity that's handed to you. I think that with this Four of Cups, the vibe that I'm getting off of it is choosing to accept something new coming to you. And it may not be an actual opportunity. It could just be, because the cups are all about emotion. It's about how we feel about things. And I think in this case, it's about you're in that in-between space of accepting that you can be the boss or staying where you're at, okay? So I feel like you're just in between right now. This is where you're definitely heading towards. Both of these cards down here, they're both about just going inward and seeing things completely different and finding, like with the Hermit card, he's got this lantern in here. So a lot of times people want to say, like, he's finding the light. He's going towards the light. And I think that with the Hangman card here, in this card, as well as most other decks, around his head is a halo of light. And I know you probably can't see that on the camera, but I'm getting just mental clarity. I'm getting a lot of mental clarity. And right now in the center of this reading is the Queen of Swords, and that's exactly what she embodies, is mental clarity. So on top of her, with the Emperor card being there, it's definitely heading towards a whole new level of your life, but you're still hung up. You're like, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Okay, so that goes back to the be fearless. Okay, just take the chance and head straight towards what you know you can do it. Because if you're already thinking about it, you know in the back of your mind somewhere you can definitely do it. You got this. Okay, you got it. And the cards are even saying it's going to happen. But you just have to be willing to accept this change and just let it happen and step out of that fear, okay? Alright guys, that is your reading for the weekend of February 11th through the 13th. I hope you guys enjoyed this and I hope you get something out of this message. So thank you again for joining me and congrats.